start with prayer. If you don't mind bowing your head and joining me in prayer. Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for every woman that is here, Father God, and we thank you for them coming on a Friday night when I know, Father God, that they could be anywhere else. They could be in the club or they could be watching Netflix, but they chose to be here with you, with your women. Father God, I ask you to bless them for their time, for coming to be close to you, to be close to your women. Holy Spirit, you are welcome in this place. We ask you to move and flow, and we don't want to just be simply entertained tonight, Father God. We want to hear from you. We want to have the men answer our questions so that we can understand the men in our lives better, to help understand and bring a bridge to the gap that is between the sexes at times, Father God. We bless you and we ask you, Father God, to bring clarity and healing in the midst of all of the laughter tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, so where are my single ladies in the room? Where are my single ladies? Come on, ladies, that's all you got in you? Okay, let's see if we can be a little bit louder. Where's my married ladies? Okay, where's my married is a majority. Okay, where's my is complicated? This panel has a story, just like we all do. We have a story, we have a history, and our hope tonight is to bring clarity to why the men in our lives do what they do so that we can understand them and hopefully heal our relationships. We are not by any means going to bash the men tonight, because I was just telling them, I am so grateful for them coming and doing this, and we want them to feel loved and comfortable, and you know, the men in our life, God placed them in our life, so we love them, and this is a ministry that definitely believes in God's order. The man is the head of the house, and you know, the women are here to support our men and love our men, and you know, we don't want to make them feel bad. So, having said that, how many of y'all are here for the first time? Let me just see my, oh, wow, praise God. That is awesome, ladies. Thank you so much for coming. Let me start with a little bit of history for those of you that don't know me, since it's your first time. My name is Sonia. I am one of the founders of Intentional Life Ministries. I am a Tex-Mex girl. Do I have any Texans in the house? No? You live there? Okay. Okay, that's good enough. I'll try to hug you again before you leave. I have 3 beautiful children. Roman is 22, Gabriella here on the front row, my beautiful Gabi, our only princess, is 16, and my baby boy, Mohammed, is 10 years old. My handsome husband, you will meet him here in a minute. We've been married for 26 years. He is my high school sweetheart. He used to pick me up after school, and he always had a candy for me. Doesn't bring me candies anymore every day. But if you know me, that's my love language. Feed me, and I'm like a faithful dog. Feed me, and I'll love you forever. One of the cute stories that I have about us is he used to pick me up from school, like I just mentioned, and we would go to the park and walk. Just walk around the park. Just walk, teenage girls. Just walk is all we did. And one day there was a puddle, and I had on, you know, some little like ballet slippers or something. And my romantic boyfriend picked me up and carried me to the other side of the puddle. So that's one of the good stories. You'll hear other stories later on tonight. Our favorite thing even now is walking around Burke Lake or or, just around our neighborhood, and just spending time together, talking and dreaming about the future. And, that's what we're going to talk about, is spending time together and building up your relationship. But don't be mistaken. Just like every other couple here, we have our heated discussions, we'll call them. Life is not all Hallmark movies. You all know that. We have had our ups and our downs. We've had our mountaintops and our valleys. And, we've made it 26 years up until now. Now, we have had some of those heated discussions to the point where I have considered jumping out of a running car just to get away from him. Ladies, have you ever been in that position? I know you have. So the temperature in the house is an ongoing argument. Is it an ongoing argument in your house? I say it's too cold, he says it's too hot. I think that's an argument that every house has. So a lot of these quote-unquote discussions come about because as men and women, we think differently. We are wired differently, and God created it that way on purpose. We see through different lenses. So today we are going to get to pull back the curtain, and we're going to get to ask them and see what they think, what their opinion is about certain things. I thought it was really funny with one of the questions. Dominic shared the post on his Facebook, and one of his friends said, "Dude, don't tell them our secrets." I thought, no, Dominic's going to tell us all the good secrets. Okay, so let's get this party started. These are questions that you all submitted through our Facebook page. So let's get it started. Guys, come on in.
Sorry, we're comfortable there. Let's sit down right on his lap. Come on, lady. Not that heavy.
George, you're making it awkward, George. What can I get, George? Okay, ladies, as promised, here are the panel of men that are going to answer our questions. Let's go ahead and start with allowing them to introduce themselves as I promised. Guys, I am so excited to be able to this is like they are on, what do you call that little box that the jury goes when when you're in court and you sit up on the jury box. They're in the jury box, and we are going to get to ask them, and they have promised to tell the truth, the whole truth, so help me God. Okay, ladies, this is my handsome husband, as I promised. I'm so excited, guys. Introduce yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then pass the microphone on.
Hello everyone, my name is Ronnie Santos, and
He's a handsome husband.
Hello, I'm Alex. I'm 20 years old and I'm single.
say that.
That's single ladies, he's single. I'm Jock, like an athlete, so it's easy to remember. I think I'm the voice of wisdom on the panel here. I'm 55 and married to this lovely lady here in our girl.
Sally, take a
Hi, my name is Eric Serrano. I am 30 and I've been married for 7 years to the beautiful Catherine Serrano.
Hi, my name is Scott. I'm 50 years old and I'm remarried to Cynthia. Today is her birthday.
Happy birthday, Cynthia. My name is Dominic. I'm 24 and I've been dating Caitlin Zellner for 4.5 years. Love you.
I've already named nameless. I'll be property of Laura Caraccio in the front. Georgetown. I've been divorced and now engaged to Laura, so a second opportunity towards love and hopefully a blended family and all God's blessings with that.
Yeah. Okay, this first question is for my single guys. What are the qualities? Who wants to be the first single guy? Okay.
I have a question.
No, you're the first one to You get to be the first guy. What are the qualities that you are looking for in a wife?
Right.
I would say that values family overall, that has, the priorities in their family and then their relationship with them.
Ladies, now you know what the qualities are.
Am I allowed to answer?
Yes.
Well,
you're not married.
I would say it all depends on what the purpose of the relationship is going to be. I think that you have to be intentional when you're looking for somebody, whether it's the fact that you want to marry them, and if that's the case, then definitely finding someone who has the same spiritual outlook on life so that you guys can kind of make that the center of your relationship so that you guys have something bigger than yourselves to look towards when I guess the road gets rocky, for lack of a better term.
Is this like half single?
Things fly.
I'm supposed to
Don't do
I told you it was gonna
I think there's a lot of wisdom in this young man's statement here. So when you have, when you're looking at your relationship to be your value, be your core, be your happiness, you have already failed. You went the wrong way. You're supposed to find your own happiness in that core with God. And once you're there, it doesn't matter who you are, it's that light shines. That's what's so attractive. It's the confidence you exude. It's the way you carry yourself, the kindness that you put out. That isn't something that we're born with it, but we lose it over the years through life. And that's kind of what draws me closer to a woman.
Okay, so let's pass it on to the married guys. Go ahead, Duff, you got the microphone. What were the qualities that you did look for when you were looking for a wife?
Well, something I want to add to what George said out in the hallway, from the biblical perspective of what is it that you're thinking of? And when you have Peter getting on the boat, walking across the water, he sees everything that he needs. If you get on the boat and you walk across the water and you're expecting that this other person is going to be everything, you're going to sink, because that they're not going to be that person. So, it's a realistic, balanced perspective. I didn't mention Sally is 2 out of 10 my grade. So in that context of what I was looking for in that perspective, I think the second time I don't even know if it's considered a date, but she just looks me straight in the eye and says, "What are your intentions?" What are my intentions? I had to think about it. I went back and just over the course of next week wrote a letter about what my intentions were. And, part of that is not make the same mistakes they made the first time. Learn from that experience and look for that partnership, the person that has your back. It's like the Pastor Josh and Brittany did this past weekend where you're not fighting against one another, but you're back to back fighting whatever is going to come at you from whatever direction. Being alert, being attentive to things that can sneak in and creep in on you, that lets you lose that luster of the dating period and being, as my brother Dominic said down there, intentional. She's good at keeping intentional. If I forget to open the door for her in the car, she usually sit there. Learning these things, kind of catching up really for the years that we lost is the right word, but some of the cultural things like Puerto Rico, the man's is going to walk on the street side of the sidewalk, and I'm from Philly. I don't know about that. But to be able to learn those things, to grow and stretch, so that your comfort zone is larger and larger.
I did not pay him to say intentional that many times. That was awesome, right, ladies? His wife was teaching him good. And actually, we've got two more guys. We've got two more single guys, so we get a little bit more perspective on the single side. And another thing, young single ladies, ladies that are single, I loved when he said that Sally made him tell her, what are your intentions? Because in that moment when she did that, she knew what her value was, and she wasn't going to take anything less, anything than God's best for her. What do you want? Where are we going with this? I'm not wasting my time. You're not wasting my time. I love that. Sally, I applaud you. Okay, so next is my handsome husband.
Since we're all going to be honest, I guess it's my turn. Actually, I wasn't looking for anybody to get married until I met someone. I said, that's my wife. And after that, I said, that's the love of my life, and up until now. And yes, we do struggle, the very beginning of our marriage, like anybody else, but we're still here, love each other, and yes, and I still feel all the love, it's just like the first day. So I don't think too much about it, what the marriage is going to be like. I just think if we have love. And I thought I was going to kill a bunch of problems by getting married, but I didn't. So, I'm just happy.
Okay. Let me see. No, wait. I'm a single. Since we have some more singles in the house, let's see. The question for the single men was, what are the qualities that you're looking for? Ladies, here's another single guy, if you're single. What are the qualities you're looking for in a wife?
So my name is Brian. Hello. Wow. So I actually wrote down these things, and I don't know if y'all think that guys don't write this stuff down, but I actually wrote down some qualities that I'm looking for when it comes to someone that I want to invest in or end up with. And that one is goal-oriented. You have to have a goal, have to have a vision, a people's person. I had everyone on my phone, so I'm trying to read off top of my mind right now. Willing to travel. I'm an artist, so tomorrow I could be somewhere, who knows where. But she has to be willing to travel, adaptable. You need to be. I hope that she's adaptable, able to not just be one thing, but able to adapt to the way that life is and the way life comes. And the biggest thing, one, she does have to love the Lord, has to love Jesus. That's huge. Yeah, I think those are kind of my top ones that I would say I have.
Awesome. Okay, let's see who's Eric, from the married perspective, and then just pass it on down to you.
Work our way down.
There you go, work your way down.
So, what would I say? I would say, I think one of the biggest things for me in a relationship and being in a relationship, and I would say that you don't have a relationship if you don't have this, and I think trust is a big factor, is looking at the person that you're in a relationship with and saying, is this someone that's trustworthy? Am I somebody that's trustworthy? Could they go somewhere and I'm comfortable with that being there? I feel like trust is a huge factor. I remember when I was younger, another thing that was huge for me, I remember being young, praying for my wife. And one of my number one criteria that I'd always pray over and over and over again was that she loved God more than I did. And she challenged me. She was the one that pushed me to get closer to God because I feel like I have a strong relationship with God. So one of my biggest requests was someone that would challenge me in that aspect. And then I guess the third thing that I was looking for is someone who just really, really loved God. Because I feel like one thing that my mom told me growing up, that makes me sound very young, but one thing that my mom told me growing up was it's like a pyramid, and God's at the top, and you and your wife are the two bottom corners. And the closer that you guys get to God, the closer you guys get to God, the closer that you get to each other. And that's one thing that was a big factor for me, and I see in my marriage in the past 7 years, that we'll go through so many ups and downs. Life will throw so many things at you. You'll have your tough times, you'll have your good times, but what will get you through those is just your perspective of God. We know that our situations are crazy and our situations are constantly changing. And if we let our emotions and who we are as people run our relationships, and that's inconsistent. But the only thing that's ever consistent, like my brothers have said, is God. And so when you put God in the center, when you put God as your base for your relationship, then it's something consistent. Because marriages end because of emotions. Marriage ends because we can't agree on finances. Marriages end for so many different reasons. And so having God at the core is something consistent, I feel like is one of the big factors for me, and big factors in a healthy relationship is having God at the center. Because just in an example of love, like Rodney was saying, it's we as humans don't know how to properly love. We're naturally selfish, and so when we get closer to God, when we start to fall more in love with God, and as we abide in Him and He abides in us, then we learn how He loves, and we understand the type of love that He gave us when He sent His Son to die on the cross, the sacrifice that He did in itself. Once we start to get close to Him, we start to understand that type of love. And then when you understand that type of love and you receive that type of love, it says in the Bible that those who have been forgiven much, forgive much. And so when we understand what we've been forgiven of, the type of love that we have, sorry, I'm talking about, but it's just like when you understand God's love, you're able to properly love, and you learn that unconditional love. And so it's not selfish, but it becomes unconditional. So I feel like that's a big factor, is having God at the center.
Well, I'm a man of few words. The qualities I was looking for is a godly woman, which Cynthia is, and someone to share my life with and to laugh. And we have our issues that we deal with, but we always seem to get over them, and we go to bed together and we resolve it before we go to bed. I think it's really important just to be positive. And we are raising 5 kids, so it's crazy. We're a blended family, so we have a lot of compassion for our kids. So we're together, we try to make sure they have what they need and to love them.
Did I already answer this one?
We get a singles perspective. So we're just making an announcement. Another single man.
Yeah, I should say that I wasn't expecting this. My friend invited me, and I kept telling him, yo, what is this? He's like, oh, don't worry, man. Next thing I knew, there was questions. So I was expecting like 10 people, so.
Questions are real.
Okay, so, I guess like to demystify it, so to speak, I think a lot of it just has to do with compatibility. You know, like, I think before when I was younger, I would make it very complicated for myself. Like, you know, who I'm looking for needs to meet, you know, all these different requirements. But I think like as you get older, you begin to realize that a lot of relationships don't work because you're probably just not compatible with that person. And it probably doesn't go any deeper than that. And so for me, the kind of person that I look for is just somebody that I'm just compatible with. So someone that has depth to them, someone that's lighthearted, someone that has, you know, we share like similar values. But yeah, you know, I don't think it's anything too much more complicated than that. I mean, it's just compatibility.
Okay, cool. Let's keep it to like, with this one, let's keep it to like 2 or 3 words. What would be a deal breaker? And then just pass it down. When you were looking for your wife, those that you already have your wife, pretend like you weren't married yet. And those of you that are looking for a wife, what would have been a deal breaker?
2 or 3 words.
Yeah, 2 or 3 words.
I guess just someone who isn't willing to put in the same kind of effort that you are.
No teeth.
Someone who's controlling or doesn't let you like follow your dreams.
Someone that's negative and somebody who smokes.
I would say back to my point earlier is the lack of trust, because I feel like if you don't have trust, then you don't actually have a relationship.
Satan worshiper.
I'd say not open to children.
To me, it's someone that really loves God. That's for me. No, it's the opposite way. Someone that loves God, that's for me is what I'm looking for. So the opposite is someone who doesn't love God. And beautiful, honestly.
I would say what my friend Brian said, for one, not putting that same effort and not willing to like compromise and meet you halfway. And then, like I said, she has a lot of work, so.
Okay, so this one, put yourself in, if you're married, answer like a married man. If you are single, answer like a single man. Do you prefer to pursue the lady, or do you prefer for the lady to pursue you?
I like to shoot my shot. So, and even as scary as that may be sometimes, I think it's important that the guy approaches first, shows interest, and kind of goes from there. I think when I've had girls pursue me, I don't like people being too aggressive towards me, so that's probably the easiest way to make me run. So.
Right, this is the way I told my son is, see, the easy come, easy goes. Let it be so.
Yeah, I agree. I think I prefer to pursue, but also with that, they, you know, like interest, you know, them showing some level of interest back, I think is important, but, you know. So, yeah.
I don't mind being pursued as long as it's not in the car.
I would say a healthy balance of the two. I like to be pursued, and then I also like to pursue. So I feel like that mutual pursuing is important.
Now that's a married perspective.
That's what I was going to say, actually.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Great minds think alike.
I would say for me it's situational, like I don't mind being pursued, but if it's very aggressive then it's unattractive. I think that having a challenge sometimes there is like having kind of like a mysterious aspect to it can be intriguing and kind of like draw me in a little bit.
Alright, so I'm a little long-winded with this one, because this is the one that stuck out with me. So, just personal, just me, not all men. But y'all know how crazy it is when you pursue men, right? Like, most men back up and say, whoa, what has happened to you in your life and how you've been wounded so much in your past? What went wrong that you're just throwing yourself at us? And Toby said, easy come, easy go. If you're that easy, Lord knows I'll let know. Because we're all adults now. We've been there, done that. We're not going to make that same mistake again. Right? And then if you're willing to have a guy, do you really want a guy to be the chase? He's got to be able to stand up and fight for you, lead for you, do anything for you. You got to encourage him to step forward.
Yes. Good answer, Jordan.
So I agree. I relate with what you're saying. I think it's situational for me. But you know, whether it's me initiating, pursuing, or the other way around, I think it's kind of like a game of tag. If it's just you that's pursuing, it's just really unattractive. And if it's the other way around, so I think it has to be reciprocal.
Can you pass it down, please? Keep it going, girl. I love all of these answers, and George is usually the clown of the group, and he really stepped it up. Ladies, let's give George a round of applause. Okay, Proverbs 18:22 says, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing and receives favor from the Lord." Now, I want to put emphasis on he, which is exactly what all of these men said. He who finds a wife, that means that he went looking for the wife. It doesn't say when she finds a husband. The verse says when he finds a wife. So ladies, if you're single in this room, make yourself be found. You don't go find the men because that's just not attractive. You heard them say that directly from the men. Let the man pursue you. If you're married or if you're single, the men love the thrill of the chase. You heard them say that. It's his job to find you. So make him come find you. If he didn't have to work to get you, he isn't going to work to keep you, basically. Okay, married men, you answered. We know that in the single scenario, you wanted to be the pursuer, but now you're married. Now you're married. Do you prefer to always be pursuing, or do you like your wife to pursue you? Pass it on down just to the married men this time.
In this case, I like both of them. Yes, because I always love being with women. But this is what's the ideal number that we're pursuing. And sometimes, they don't compete. Sometimes you feel like it's beautiful that you're pursuing them. and sometimes it's dependent on the occasion, the moment that we're going through. And sometimes it feels good that I have to take the initiative on so many things. And it works both ways. At this point, being married. Not good.
So Tuesday I had a 10-hour day, and then I had a 2-hour church meeting. I don't have time to pursue anybody. 12 hours. So to Dominic's point, it depends. So the way that my wife pursued me that day was I couldn't come home to get something I needed, so she met me at church with what I needed. So thank you, babe. It does depend, and you're tired sometimes, and when you see that your partner is tired, then it's time for you to pick up the slack.
So I was thinking about this, especially as you guys were talking, and I think about how our marriage on earth is a shadow of our marriage with God in heaven. And I see how God pursued us before we even knew Him. It says that as we were still sinners, He sent His Son to die on the cross for us. So before we knew Him, He was pursuing us. Before we knew it was a thing, He was pursuing us. So like what we're talking about is the man pursuing the woman, but then as we grow in our walk with God, we start to seek God. And it says, like, as I abide in you, you abide in me, which I said earlier, but it's just, as God pursued us first, now us being his bride, we pursue him back. So I feel like our earthly marriages are a shadow of our marriage in heaven with God. And so yes, I agree with what the men are saying. Is God pursued us first and we pursued him. So as husband and wife, we pursue our wives for that. It's mutual. It's a healthy relationship that way.
I like to throw the trace both ways. Am I single or married? Every single time. All right.
Okay, give it to, what's your name, honey? I don't know your name.
Brian.
Ryan? Okay.
Brian, that's it, Brian.
Well, I guess I do. Okay, so this question might be a little bit touchy, but we're gonna handle it good. PG-13. But we do need to hear the answer to this question. That's why I'm asking this question. So guys, we've all heard it said men only want one thing. Is it true?
No, I don't know what the question for this question. All right, cool. I think that is important. I do, and I think that it is an important thing. I know that that's definitely not everything in a relationship, but I definitely learning from married men examples. They tell me that it is something that's important inside of marriage. So I don't think it's everything, but I do think it's a lot of things.
I disagree. I think we like to go to the movies. And, I just kidding.
I gotta agree with my guy over here. I mean, it's an important thing, but it's not the only thing.
This is a single guy's question.
Pass.
Oh.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, cool.
Keep going, single guys.
George.
I'm not single.
But you're not married.
You're not married.
Oh. So,
They're so afraid.
they only want one thing. Is that true? I think this goes back to who you're looking for. Like, it goes back to intention on who you want to date. Because yeah, there's a lot of guys that are dogs out there. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, and even to me, it's kind of disgusting. You know what I mean? Like, but you just gotta make sure that you discern like who. First, you gotta know what you want, and then you gotta make sure that you know how to find the qualities in a man that you're looking for. So it depends.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll just keep it real with you. Like, not all men are the same, but men are men. And like, I mean, I'm just gonna be completely real with you. Like, it's just how we're wired. You can say that's the way God made us. You can say it's the way that evolution has made us. You can say it's a bit of both. But yeah, that's how men are. Now, as I said initially, not all men are the same. Some men are going to prioritize sex, and they're going to say, yeah, sex is, it's probably going to be more important, you know, more of like a deal breaker, right? Some men will be like, oh, I'm not sexually compatible with you, I'm not sexually satisfied, right? But I guess at that point, you just have to kind of just decide, you know, what kind of guy you want. But it's definitely important. I'm just being real with you. I'm not lying to you.
And that's, I mean, sex is in the marriage bed, always, we're understanding that. Okay, so now this question is for all of the guys. Let's address the games that are played when you're dating. What do you think about the girl that orders a salad when you know that girl really wants a burger?
So I read this question, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't understand it. if you want, like she said, if you want a burger, eat a burger. And if I was to hit, go on an extreme, I don't know if that's like if that means like she's passive aggressive. That's kind of like how I saw it. Like she just like probing, like maybe she wants something, maybe she doesn't. I don't know if that's a game. If you want a burger, get a burger.
Well, I don't have the answer, and I'll tell you why. Because when I started dating my wife, our date it was $1. 2 big burritos and small drink. So we didn't have a chance to choose this out. So I really don't have the answer. But now these days, I love when she orders salad.
Hey, careful.
Yeah, I didn't totally get the question either. I was like, what? And I think as guys, we really, we're not that complicated. We don't look into stuff that deeply. But I guess it's somewhat dishonest. So if I could pick that vibe up, I might be a little bit, off about it, because it's like you're not, if you can't be honest about wanting to have a burger, you can't be honest about anything. So.
I think this ties into the last question, and basically it comes down to don't start anything you can't finish.
Makes sense?
I got it.
Yeah, so the question was if they wanted a burger but ordered a salad.
Yeah. It's like trying to I guess the guys didn't understand it. It comes from pretending like,
Yeah.
oh, I just want a salad, but really, that girl wants a burger.
My answer would be, you do you, boo boo. If you want a burger, get a burger. If you want a salad, get a salad. There's no need to fake it in a relationship. And like I said earlier, this is not honesty, you be you. And at the beginning of the relationship, I feel like it's a foundation of a relationship. So you want to be who you are, so they get to see who you are, so they're making decisions going forward on who you actually are. If you hide who you actually are, then, like I said, it goes down to trust, and you're starting off the foundation of the relationship with lies. I don't think that's healthy. Off of a salad. Get a burger for a burger.
I was gonna say order a burger because I'm gonna have one too. Enjoy them together and enjoy your time together.
I would say get a burger if you want a burger, because if you get a salad and you want a burger, and I can tell we're probably not going on a second date.
How much is the burger and how much is the salad?
We don't care what you eat. We looked at the number you just ate lettuce and that was $25. You could have had this delicious cow for $16. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, I don't have much to add. If you want to eat the salad, I'm not gonna stop you. Just eat the salad.
Okay, that's okay. That was clearly a lady question. I didn't understand. I should have ran that question by y'all first. Okay. Young ladies, single ladies, sex is a beautiful thing that God created for our pleasure, not just to reproduce, but to create a bond between a husband and a wife, so in the marriage bed only. Having said that and getting it out of the way, ladies, how many of y'all can raise your hand if you have a car? Do you have a car? Raise your hand if you have a car. That was an easy question, ladies. Come on. Raise your hand if you have a car. That was an easy question. Okay. Does your car want gas? Or does it need gas? It needs gas. Neither. Oh, she's got a Tesla. Sorry. perhaps your husband needs sex. So after I got that clarity, then it was able to, clear up a lot of things in my mind. So just as much as we need to feel loved, our husband needs sex. So I know we don't always feel like it like they do, but just like Nike says, you gotta just do it. And there will be a soul connection that is gonna happen and revitalize your marriage. So getting that out of the way, and as kind of uncomfortable as that made me feel, now I want to hear from the married men. What makes you feel loved by your wife outside of the bed? Because I knew that's where it was always going to go with them. So outside of the bed, married men, what makes you feel loved?
Well, to me is when I see your eyes, they still shine, and you look at it, and you feel, your eyes, I can see that, because your eyes don't lie, and I know they won't.
Yeah, and I agree with Tony that there's a visual element to it there. But if you have not read it or been in a small group, the book Love and Respect, that's crucial because at the end of the day, Brian said, we're men, and love does not mean the same thing to us that it means to you, and for us it's respect. So if you don't know what that means for your man, just ask him.
And read that book together. Yeah.
All right, so I think for me, one of the big things for me is quality time. And so my wife's spending time with me, listening to me about my tough day, or pushing me to be better, and just challenging me. So the big thing for me is quality time and challenging me. Then a plus is working on my budget with me.
Mine would be physical touch and acts of service. Every morning, Cynthia, when we wake up, she makes coffee. It's like unbelievable how nice it is to wake up with coffee and do our quiet time together and study the Word of God together. We do that every morning. And I'm so thankful for that. And I've never experienced that with anybody else except her. And been around a lot of years, and it's really great.
Okay, guys, this is another one that's going to be a little bit tough, and I'm sorry to make you feel uncomfortable, but I really do want. This is a surprise question. They didn't know this question was coming. Dun, 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 dun. Pastor Stevie, can you put the slide up, please? I want you to look at these two ladies, and I want you to tell every lady here in the room what your opinion is when you see lady number 1, which is lady to the left with the Daisy Dukes, and lady number 2. Honestly, give the ladies in here what you really, really think of both ladies. First opinion.
On the left, I think that is Spring, and she's just having a great time. I'm just kidding. So if we want to go deep with it a little bit, I think that she's just making herself available. She's kind of sending that message that she's available. Come get me. And then on the right, she's a little bit more conservative. You have to step up the game if you want to come for her. It's not going to be easy. So.
Yes.
I agree with you. Yeah, she said it right. So she's available, and and the other one is not good. And that's why I really, from my personal opinion, I'm really looking for a woman in the right. And like Anthony was saying earlier, that you're very mature, by the way. Still there? Yeah. Dominic, I'm sorry. I always say Dominic. I know, I was I'm 49, I forgot to tell you that I was 49. So he was saying that it all depends, you know, the intentions. But now, after getting married, obviously none of them apply. But if I'm looking for a wife, I will look definitely for a wife. But if I'm looking for fun and I'm still single, I'll go for the left.
Yeah, that last one, totally agree with that. That's a good way to look at it, I think. And, you know, one thing I look at that too, beyond just, you know, fun versus like life, I look at that and I the woman on the left and I think, you know, okay, is that all she has to offer? Because she's putting out such clear display. Whereas the one on the right, it's like she doesn't need to show that because she has so much more to offer. At least that's my thinking with it. So.
Yeah, in this room, I'd say for the group on the left, say, wow, bro, you need Jesus. Very simple. Because, you know, as we were saying here before, it's easy come, easy to go. So just what Alice was saying there. Girl on the right, you need a better paying job so you can get clothes with no holes in them.
So, I don't know how to answer this question. I mean, I agree with all you guys are saying. The girl on the left seems, if she's putting everything on display, it's easy to get. The girl on the right, like Mark was saying, you feel like you have to do more and be better, present yourself better, have a better paying job to present her, right? And so it's just like, yeah, that's all I have to say.
I was thinking if that was my daughter on the left, she wouldn't go out of the house. On the right, it just looks more like New York City's woman's more up close.
I would say it's situational, but so like it really depends on where your intention's at, right? It all comes back to intention for me. Like, I mean, situationally, if that girl's out with somebody that she's with, then that just might be a way that she expresses herself. But at the same time, if they're single and they're in the dating scene, I think it says a lot about the type of self-respect that they have for themselves. And it's like a lot of men on the panel are saying that it comes off as kind of like trying to make up for a lack of something else that you aren't bringing to the table. That's all I have.
I can't wait to hear what you're going to say.
So this picture describes what you said earlier, was what do men always look at? Do you think that men always are trying to chase some TNA, right? And the situation for that is going to be 21 and under. You haven't really quite grown up to be a man yet. You're still a boy in a man's body. And the one on the left, no, just like you're just young, you're the youngest one under. But the one on the left is that's just screaming attention, right? So you're coming out, you're going to the bar, whatever you're doing, you want to be paid attention to, that's great. What you're going to get is somebody that's just chasing what you're displaying. And then, if, for any situation, if that was my girl with me, does that show me any respect?
Right.
No. And then, first thing that came up was, not your mom, with your mom.
Yeah, I actually agree with everything you said. I maybe the only asterisk I put is I personally don't think there's anything wrong in either expression. I mean, you know, on the left, yeah, there is like a sense in which I don't know that this person is necessarily trying to make up for something. You know, I mean, if it's like a hot summer day, I'm not gonna blame you if you want to walk around like that at all. I'm not gonna assume, you know, anything like that personally. But on the right, I mean, I just kind of see somebody who's maybe slightly more elegant personally.
Just pass it on back. Just pass it on back, it's easier.
If I could just add something real quick, basically just going to address there, because it doesn't matter what the intentionality is. In my last job, we were hiring an assistant for me, and there was a woman on the panel where I really respected. And we had two candidates, and they were about equal. And we went in the back, we were talking about it, and she said, yeah, that other lady, she just said she's going to the club on Friday. Would you want to go on a business trip and leave her to go to the senior staff meeting in your place? I said, wow, I hadn't even considered that. And then, I did mention when we were going through a leadership instructor, and people wonder, well, why am I not getting promoted? Why am I not being left as the acting boss, boss one? I mean, it's because you're just like that, and you're torpedoing yourself and don't even realize it.
Oh, thank you for adding that. That was, yeah.
Thank you for adding that. That's an extra bonus right there. Okay, guys, I'm going to put the married men on a hot spot because I got this question, I'm going to say at least 5 times. Private messages. So, you already know the questions, but this is the hot spot. Do women want to know, why did you stop pursuing us after you got married? No more romancing, no more flowers. Why do we have to plan the date nights? If we want to go on a date.
Dun, dun, dun.
We work too much.
We work too much.
Yeah, I mean, so what was the question basically? Oh yeah, because my opinion, whatever I pick, if I say black, you always say white. So I guess why should I? I'm been married 26 years, and I didn't realize I was colorblind. So that's why.
Preach it, brothers, preach it. There was the comedian, I can't think of his name. But anyway, he said that Fluffy, so he says that this guy comes, Gabriel, thank you, is kind of stalking him, comes back to his room, and he basically says, Fluffy, run away with me, whatever you're making here, I'll double it, you have your own Lexus. He's like, whoa, I don't, I'm not, swim that way. But he started thinking about it, you know what? I'd be a good boyfriend. I'd be a good husband because of what Tony's talking about. After a while, it's like, okay, honey, well, you just pick whatever restaurant. Okay, well, let's go here. No, I don't like that. You're killing me. Killing me. So that's at least part of the date night thing. Maybe we need to do the whole, you write the things ahead of time and put them in a bowl and then just pick it up, and then there's no, well, there'd be something to dispute, but come on, throw me a bone here, babe.
I got a joke for that one.
The joke is there's a husband that comes to his wife and he says, honey, I have a surprise. Guess where we're going to go to dinner tonight? And she says, Applebee's? Yeah! That's the way to get the right answer every time.
That deal, right? Yeah.
So I think there's many reasons, but it's not an excuse. I think in relationships, a lot of times we get complacent. We get so caught up in the busyness of our schedules, our jobs, our careers, our kids, if we have them. So it's just like we get so busy that we forget what we have in front of us and we lose sight. Just like we do with our relationship with God. Just like when you get a brand new car, you save up your money for the car, you buy the car. And you're so excited about it that you drive in that car for days on end. You drive to work, you complain about your commute, and you forget, how valuable that car was, how much that cost you, and that's one of the points. But it's just, you forget what you have, and then if you ever get in a car accident, or if you ever lose your car, you'll want a car again. And so it's just, we forget it's right in front of our face a lot of times in a lot of different aspects in our life, with our relationships with our children, with our relationships with our God. And so it's just constantly becoming so reminded that, constantly reminding yourself what's right in front of you, because you can forget. And there's so many times in my relationship where I got complacent when my wife had to plan the dates. And there's times where I realized, like, oh my gosh, I'm so blessed to have a wife that challenged me. I would not be half the person that I am or doing any of the things that I'm doing. And she challenges me and pushes me a lot. And I forget that because I get so caught up in life and my agenda and the things that I have to get accomplished. And I got to get to work at this time. I got to get home. I got to do this. I got to get the kids ready. I got to get all these different things. And so I get so busy that I miss it. What's right in front of my face. And so it's what we need to do is step back And I think that's the blessing of what a date is as well, is you get to do that stepping back and spend that one-on-one time. So it's not an excuse, but it's just forgetting what's right in front of your face, I feel it. So, and that's an error on our part.
I just want a decision to be made so we know where to eat.
Now you know how.
Okay, this is a two-part question, and we're going to keep it simple because it really shouldn't be that hard. This one's meant to be kind of funny, but serious. Do you prefer fresh face or makeup for the single guys? And for the married guys, do our wrinkles, cellulite, stretch marks, all of these things that we see in ourselves when we look in the mirror, especially since we've been married 26-something years, 3 babies later, life has happened, gravity has happened, do they bother you as much as they bother us?
So I'm gonna pull the Dominic comment, situational. When it comes to the makeup, there was a girl that I was with. She's my ex-girlfriend, but I would really sit with her and watch her do her makeup in the morning. And she would take about an hour, but I would just sit there and watch her do it. And for me, my love language is quality time. And hers is other things, but that was my way of spending time with her. So I didn't mind it, but I also don't mind someone who's okay with just being natural. So like I said, I think that's that shared decision on that. That's another thing where I don't necessarily think that as a guy we think as much into it as a female does.
Okay, to me, the gravity and all that stuff really doesn't bother me because God is perfect. I mean, I still see you there, just like, 20 years ago. Same thing, nothing has changed. The way they see you all the time because the love is still there. What really bothers me is that, remember when we first got married, I really wanted for you to get up and, wear me the makeup, but it didn't happen like I used to. And the most part, in the winter time, all the time, the 7 layers of the younger layer. That's about it. But other than that, I mean, it doesn't bother me anything.
So for me, it's more of an effort thing. I personally I prefer kind of a more natural look, but what's more important to me is if you're putting in, if a woman I'm interested in is putting in that effort forward. So if that translates for her, wearing a full face of makeup, that's great. If it doesn't, maybe it's shoes or something that where she's putting in effort because she takes pride in her appearance and how she conducts herself. So that's more important to me.
So Vanity says, there's no license to just let yourself go. I appreciate the attention that you pay to what you're putting in your body, and I appreciate your, getting up and hitting the gym and all that kind of stuff. And as far as gravity is concerned, I like the way it feels like your jeans.
That's a tough one, but yeah. The question they ask single guys, makeup or no makeup, I don't think I mind much. I think my wife is pretty with or without makeup. Who she is. I think both of women. But then for the married men, gravity and all those things. I remember when my wife first had our first baby, she was like, "Oh, this is my body," and she felt insecure, which I thought she looked beautiful. But it's like I fell in love with not the outward appearance. Yes, that's like we all said, that's a factor, but it's just like who she is, I love, and who she makes me, I love. So no matter what she looks like, the other day her whole face would have burned, and she would look ugly, I would still love her. So it's like, I fell in love with her and who she makes me and who she is in God. And so outward appearance, so those come and go, and with everybody, time changes all. So it's just like, it's kind of happening, it's inevitable, so love them with or without, it's more than just outward appearance, I feel like.
God made us, and I adore every inch of her. And nothing matters to me as long as we're together and we grow old together. And I lived like 20 years ago, and that's just the way we are. We eat together and we're doing it good together.
I would say both. I definitely appreciate a fresh face, but then like if we're planning on going out and like having a date, I really enjoy like getting dressed up and looking nice for each other. Something that I appreciate a lot. In terms of like the cellulite, the wrinkles, stretch marks, whatever you guys or whatever you're talking about, Sonia, is I think that goes back to like finding someone that you're best friends with, someone that you can. It's important that when you're looking for someone that you grow that emotional connection, so that when the physical appearance fades, thank you, that you guys still have that loving connection, and that you guys can continue to fall in love with each other every day, even after the physical appearance isn't there as much. So thanks.
These guys are wonderful. If you look at Scary Spice without makeup, put on makeup. No, I think I think what bothers us more is that it bothers you ladies so much. It's a burden. We don't want you to feel uncomfortable. We don't want you to feel non-confident. We don't want you to feel bad about doing something that you did for us. You gave us a family. You gave us sacrifice to make a house a home, things like that. That's what's the burden, the wrinkles, the cellulite, the gray hairs, and things like that. That's, you should, again, in my opinion, that's kind of like warrior badges. You should just wear them with pride. But, yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting dolled up. I seriously hate dressing like this. So I was forced to look like an adult today.
Yeah, like Dominic and Mark said, it's situational. I think both are fine. And like you were mentioning, I mean, the one thing that no one can defeat is time. Time goes one way and it affects us all. So at the end of the day, it's like our physical appearance is just really, it's a fading luxury. It's a fading asset. So.
Thank you.
Except for I will always look this good.
What's as fun as it's gonna get?
I do disagree with the last sentence that he said. I think that the older that you get getting, the more beautiful they are. See, that's how I see you all the time, because you're wiser, and the reason that we are sometimes think this way, like probably having pressure right now, so oh, man, I can do this, I can help it. But it's because we know that we are a good woman. We definitely know there's no way we can make it. I mean, because that's how we are. There's no way we need everything. No, I mean, in my personal opinion, that I always was looking for all those elements. That's correct to say, because I know that for me to go in front of, be a leader of the house, I have to have a very strong and good woman. Other than that, anyway.
Brownie points goes to the man. Ladies, was this fun or what? Did you enjoy their answers? Man, thank you so much for stepping up and answering our questions. I know some of them were a little bit uncomfortable, but y'all did a good job. Thank you, man. Ladies, this is not a typical meeting. This is just because it is Valentine's month or the month of love. We usually do not have men in the meeting, so this is this was just something fun and different for us to do. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I hope we made the men feel okay about their answers. They did really good. Now, I'm really feeling in my spirit that a few of us, myself included, are guilty of not seeing the wonderful life that we have. And what I mean by that is, we can get caught up in complaining about our husbands or complaining about our lives. And for instance, I'm single, I wish I could be married, and you're just focused on that and you're not looking around and seeing what a fabulous life you actually have. Or for those of us that are married and all you do is see that, he leaves his dirty clothes on the floor, and, he doesn't take me on date nights like he used to when we were dating, and, you're just so focused on the bad and you don't see the good that he is. So what I would like us to do is, we're all familiar with the parable of the talents in Matthew chapter 25, and verse 29 says, "For to everyone who has will more be given, and he who will have an abundance. But from the one who has not, even what he has will be taken away." Now, I don't have, if what you're saying is, I don't have a good marriage, or I don't have a good man, look around you and I'm sure that you can find something good about him. And we heard from the men, what they need is to be respected. As much as we need to be loved, they need to be respected. So if you show your man if you show him respect, he'll show you love, and your marriage will flourish. So basically what Jesus was saying in this verse is, whatever you have, if you're not taking care of it, it could be taken away from you. So the good news is, though, that his mercies are new every morning. Great is his faithfulness. And if we will take the time to look at everything that we have around us, what a wonderful life that we have. He's faithful to show us and help us with that.